All right. First thing on the agenda is discussion of the counselor program.
So, just a couple of things. The school system has got back with the committee and let us know that they are definitely interested. And, I think we've already allocated $55,600, something like that, for that program, and they are interested. They went to Houston County, did a review on that, wanted to do it. So that money will now move on to the county commission for approval and allow the finance department to get a check to the school system to start that program that you guys wanted to see. Second, we were talking about some AD allocations, and then the judge at the juvenile court has had a roadblock of some sort with their counselor program, and they need some help with it. And if you don't mind, I would ask that you suspend the rules and allow him to speak a little bit on the emergency portion of this.
Okay, do we need a motion for that?
Yeah, I would, just to keep it.
Make a motion, second. All in favor, say aye. Okay.
Judge, do you mind speaking just a little bit on this?
I don't mind at all. When I first became judge in 2003, I went around and visited a lot of other courts in other counties, and I learned, where do you want me?
You're good.
Am I good? I learned that a lot of counties had a whole lot more resources than we did. I learned that some of them even had social workers and therapists on staff. And since that time, and when Patricia joined me a couple of years later, we've been looking for a therapist for us at juvenile court. We developed a good relationship with our Child Advocacy Center and our CAC, our local CAC that serves the whole 23rd Judicial District, was kind enough to provide us for the last 5 or 6 years with a trauma-focused therapist that dealt solely with children who may have been abused, victims of crime. And that was going along great. And we have a therapist now, Amanda, who has a full caseload and has 17 children on a waiting list. 20 children on a waiting list. Breaks my heart. But anyway, I don't know if it was part of Doge or part of something, but anyway, those grants were cut. And so we were faced with a situation where Amanda would not be there anymore. And on all the children on her caseload are not clinically ready for discharge yet. One little girl comes to mind, she's 6 years old. She's been raped numerous times by a family member, and they're just about halfway through her therapy regimen. And as you all know, and as common sense tells us, length of the therapy should be determined by the therapeutic response of the child, not according to some book. And so we think she's about halfway through her therapeutic regimen, but it could be longer. And so the last thing that a lot of these kids need that are victims of abuse is to lose a valued adult in their lives. And this one little girl that I'm thinking of has developed a bond with the therapist, which now will be broken. I was at a meeting. We've been looking around for money. We've knocked on doors and trying to do something to salvage the situation. But I did learn recently that Davidson County and Sevier County are using the opioid abatement money for this exact reason. And the thinking is, and I think our anecdotal experience would back up, that children that don't get some mental health services may turn to alcohol and or illegal substances to self-medicate. In fact, we have 1 or 2 that are being seen by Amanda that are self-medicating with alcohol. And so that's kind of the tie-in to the abatement money. And this would be a short-term emergency response. Catherine at the Child Advocacy Center, the CAC, thinks pretty well that she can get new grant funding for July 2027 going forward. But it's this gap that we're worried about, and so that's why we are here asking for funding. So thank you.
Make a motion to approve.
I'd suspend the rules and then y'all can handle business.
And the 40, so what's happened is when they lost that funding, they had to let.
Not to cut you off, but I'll make a motion to unsuspend the
Oh,
rules so we can
unsuspend, so
go back
we
in
go,
the
yeah,
session.
okay, sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, so when they lost the $150,000 grant money, they lost the forensic interviewer, they lost a family resource person, and they lost the therapist. So she had 2 weeks. So she had 2 weeks to close every single one of her cases. So she went to a company out of Dixon County gave them $15,000 to fund these kids, 3 kids, so she could do 3 part-time for Stewart County kids. So they put her on as like contract, just to do 3 kids. That left her 20 kids on there. And she's sent me the list of kind of what she does and how long it takes. There's not really a time schedule like what the judge said about keeping a kid on, because it's them, how to do it. So giving them this money would put her back full-time, and she could have a caseload of 13 to 25 clients. And she would and they're all Stewart County kids. So every single one of these kids are Stewart County kids. There's no kids from any other county. And this service is free. They don't use their insurance. They don't use any of that. This is all services, insurance that she uses. She goes to the school and sees them. She goes to the home and sees them. She does educational with the parents and having to deal with kids that have issues like this. I have 2 kids right now that see her. They'd be devastated if they couldn't. So that's kind of where we are right now, and that's where that money would get her full time and back into the contract until they can get this money back.
And we do have that in the governmental side of the opioid funds. We're sitting at 93,000 on the direct settlement side, so that would be up to y'all.
I make a motion, we fund that.
Second. All in favor?
We'll pass this along in the next meeting to the commission Monday night, and, we'll get this emergency order on the agenda, 40,000. So where would this be allocated to, Patricia?
It's a child advocacy center.
Child advocacy center. Is that on Clarksville or how is that?
That would be the 23rd district. They're out of Dixon.
Child Advocacy Center of the 23rd District.
Yeah, there's all that.
Heather's just gonna ask me where the check's gonna go. If they
Where
approve
it's
it. Gotcha.
Okay, so, moving down the agenda here, discussion of AEDs.
Yeah, we are at that point where we still have money, and this is still a need. We've discussed it the last 2 or 3 meetings, but we haven't put anything into motion. I added it to the agenda in case, if y'all wanna rediscuss it, or we are allowed to buy AEDs out of the governmental side of this, the direct settlements, so.
So what's left in that money?
53,000.
So I think those are, where's John at? 1750 each?
1,700.
Okay.
I've got the quote that y'all would like to see.
If they're 70, whatever. I think we originally talked about doing 60, which we won't have enough money to do that, but.
So are we still talking about putting them in every police
Well,
car or putting in the
clearly we're not
supervisors?
gonna have the money to do
Right.
that, so we're gonna have, but yeah, I think we'll have to figure out a new plan on where we're gonna put them. But certainly in public safety vehicles, we talked about, like we originally talked about the courthouse and the schools, but we will have to revise that a little bit.
Because some of the schools have them, they have a grant.
Yeah, they're terribly out of date, right?
Are they?
My understanding is
One's out of
they're
date.
probably no longer even
I
operable.
don't even know what they have.
I don't know, Miss Williams, I knew, got a grant, got some, she told us, but I don't know.
So, just an opinion of mine would be that maybe that if you guys are leaning towards doing the AEDs, let's allocate the funds, get it before the county commission, and then let's put a subcommittee over those funds that before the funds are extinguished, we'll come back here and tell you exactly where they're going. So, Clint, Joe, the sheriff, John or Greg, whichever one of them wants to do it, let's assign a 4 or 5 person, maybe a 5 person, that way we'll have a community person involved. Does that sound right to you? Yes, cause this is a community approach, it's not just a police or fire or EMS.
Make a motion to allocate the 53,000 to AEDs.
Have a second?
I second that.
All those in favor?
And would y'all wanna put this subcommittee in place?
I think so, yes.
Who would you like? We need a community member on it that's not tied in with the emergency services in the county, because it's gotta be there's gonna be a few churches that may want one, there might be a school employee that wants one. Who would be good, thinking outside the box, to be a community member, to be an advocate for any one of those that would like?
Well, you put us on the spot.
She's got enough to do, but if you want her to take that on, I don't mind her taking that on. To be an advocate for any of those groups that we would, within reason, we can't just put them in households, But if there's a church or a school that's in need, or do we have one here? I mean, we've got questions like that. We don't have one here, but I mean, if somebody to advocate for that process. Sorry.
No, it's all right, I'm thinking, what about Jenny Hyde?
Good, we all have them. So we'll have Clint Mathis, Jenny Hyde. We'll just say Greg and John, whichever one of y'all or both of y'all, it don't matter. And then the sheriff. And, Joe. Gotcha. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is that enough? Is that okay with y'all? So that'll be our subcommittee, and we'll allocate the money, if the county commission sees fit, we'll allocate the money, Monday night, and then that subcommittee can get to work and come back to you guys at our next meeting and say, this is where we found the biggest bang for our buck, or however it works out. Is that what, John, is that good? Is that what y'all are thinking?
So, yeah, I mean, so really and truly EMS is really just a spokesperson here. We're not gonna have any of these AEDs in our position.
But you are willing to help.
Right, but y'all are gonna manage.
Somebody
and
gonna
teach
train?
and-
Right,
Yeah, just say
I
somebody
was
train.
appointed, to be the one in charge of taking care of all that.
Okay, good.
So I've already been nominated for that by my boss.
Is that satisfactory to y'all? And I feel like that's the best plan going forward, if we're good with it.
Alright, any, new business?
Before you move on, do we have to have a motion and a second to approve the committee, the subcommittee?
I would, but I don't think it's, I don't know, let's do it, just in case y'all.
Can I get a motion to approve this committee? Second,
I second.
all in favor?
Thank you.
Okay, any new business?
So, this is heavy, sorry. So it looks like we're gonna have, our direct settlements will be expended now, and then we will look in 40,000, 55. Actually, we're gonna have 72 left after the 55 that we've already appropriated. So, state opioid abatement funds remain at 72,000. Now, again, we're gonna be getting continued settlements in over the next 2 through 10 years. Some of those are 1,600, some of them are all the way up to 4,000. I haven't seen any over that. We will get 2 or 3 more state allocations over the next 3 years. I'm not for sure that number. But that's money that we'll have to operate off of the next few years, so. Especially how we see how the counselor programs are gonna go. I would hate to get a program started and us not be able to at least help over the next couple of years, so I think we probably need to really slow down and think if whatever funds are going out from here on out, just to, I don't mean a rainy day fund, that's not what this money's for, but protection from the programs that you've got started, at least to get them going.
I think we even discussed that.
We have,
That we would dealt with that program if it was,
The school system's excited, so,
Any more business?
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
I'm second all day.
thank y'all, I appreciate it, we'll get all these, to the county commission, and then we'll get it going after that.